Welcome back to Montrose, Virginia for the final 9 holes of the Lake Marshall Open. I am Ian Anderson, again joined by Connor O'Reilly.
It's been a pleasure so far. We had a back and forth front 9. Chris Dickerson came out hot like the champion we know he is. Luke Samson battled back though, and it's all tied up through 9. Evan's been putting on a display on the putting green. Blake's had a couple hiccups, but started off with his usual self that we had seen in the rest of the tournament, and a lot can happen on this back 9. We've got OB-laden holes, tight gaps, par 3s, par 4s, big water carry par 5s, and I'm excited to see who's crowned our first champion of 2023, kind of technically, since we're playing in this wraparound season.
They're going to be the Pro Tour points leader.
Yeah, they will.
How about that? There is your top 10. You got 9 holes left to go. It's a good 9 holes. I think there's just one par 3 in our final 9 holes here.
Yeah, I guess just hole 13, and yeah, I really think I like that. I like a little more golf on the back 9 and let the players make a little more strategy. Here we are, hole 10, one of the most daunting gaps on the course. Y'all saw that elbow tree way back in there. You really want to throw it straight, maybe drift it a little bit right, but honestly, as long as you beat that gap, you're pretty happy with whatever you end up with. These bushes make the approach a little harder than it normally would be because it's pretty open over there. But they don't allow you to skip one in unless you play it really wide. And this one's a technical little par 4.
It is. Smith with the box and a 1-stroke lead over Blake for 3rd place. This is a little left.
Yeah, it looks like he commits on that hyzer but never really gets it to pop up. We had a stronger crosswind from the left side the first 2 days, and I think most guys kind of switch the stability of their disc to match that, and maybe you're kind of throwing the same disc because comfort-wise it felt right, and I think a lot of guys are probably leaking a little more left to where they were today. And this is amazing out of Luke. Oh, my
480
goodness.
through that gap?
That just got so far down there where he's looking. Almost never are you looking at the basket unless you're like way off to the right.
Oh, this is good from
left.
Chris.
Chris about to...
Oh.
Almost matched Luke right there. He catches one of those last trees and...
Still workable, though, right?
Yeah, definitely workable for Chris. He's going to have a little swing hyzer in there.
Pulling, going to the forehand. You like this. Ooh, look at this swing.
Oh, Blake drifts that one over. He's going to get some good distance here.
Bonus
Forward
kiss.
skip. One little bush to deal with, but he's going to have probably a backhand hyzer into the bucket from there.
Fantastic drive. Dickerson, this is actually lined up pretty nicely, isn't it?
Yeah, he's very, very far left here, but in a spot where he's got a clean hyzer to the bucket, albeit a little hairy. It was a line.
Yeah. Nice. In the circle.
Yeah, it's a good spot. Putting back up the hill, so really easy to commit fully on that putt.
Pulling, going forehand. It plays.
Yeah, Blake really settling in with that forehand today and playing it a little more than day 2, I'd say.
Smith, just 200 to the pin. Nice drive.
Puts it nice and high and make sure to check the speed up. And, yeah, he's right there, 20 foot.
That should birdie. Samson, just 152 after that monster drive.
Yeah, I'd bet to say that's the best drive this hole saw all weekend. Able to just chip a little hyzer with the Berg up there. And, yeah, Luke's going to be grabbing a birdie on that one, most likely.
The Berg.
The Berg.
Nice.
Gotta hit that official Swedish enunciation.
I love it, Connor. I love that stuff, man. Oh, Dickerson not loving that, though. Oh, my goodness.
High left in that Prodigy basket. We saw the same putt catch for Poland earlier in the round, I feel like, on hole 4. And, yeah, it's a bit of a coin flip sometimes when you're on the outside of these baskets.
These baskets holding a grudge?
I don't know. That old company kind of coming back to haunt him. We don't know.
We've seen some nasty spit-outs for Chris this weekend. I know. I think everybody saw it at some point this weekend. Here's Smith for another birdie. That's a good putt out of Evan, as usual.
There's that one in as it's a little bit right side, but able to cash in on that one.
And Samson, this for the lead.
Luke just threw an impeccable drive on this hole, and it's almost unheard of to be where he was, so easily rewarded for his amazing drive.
Takes advantage. He's going to carry a stick over to hole 11 as Dickerson drops in par after the chain out.
Little extra frustration going with Dickerson there, and we'll see how that holds over as Samson's starting to feel that momentum swinging back his way and feeling that swagger we saw him with on those first few holes.
Just blasted down the meat of the fairway. To throw it that fast, that accurately.
Was that a Lutz? I wonder.
I missed that one. Hole 11.
Par 4 here. Pretty generous gap to the right side. The wind wasn't as much today, so you could really just kind of rip on it. A little bit of hyzer. Get up there by that bush. Most players are left with about 280 to 250. Forehand works really well the way this second gap shapes up into the green. The backhand also plays as well, though.
Evan holding on to the tee. Still one over Poland.
Ooh, a little high and swoopy here for Evan.
Ugh.
A little double kick, and he looks like he kind of got to the front of that stuff there, so he should have a chance at birdie, albeit not as easy as he would like.
Samson.
Yeah, nice and low from Luke here. Ooh, penetrates a little too straight, but that kicks to a spot that any low drive up the normal gut of the fairway might get to anyways.
Blake.
Blake put a nice move on this one. Similar line with Luke, and also catches those trees. Didn't quite get the kick left that Luke did.
See if Dickerson can blast one up the fairway here.
Chris probably really looking to make sure he gets this one in a good spot. And he also catches those trees on the right.
I mean, you could still do the up and down birdie. The distance isn't huge on this one.
Yeah, they're all in a great spot, but after Chris sees Luke leave the door slightly open, I'm sure he was looking to give himself no questions.
Nice forehand out of Smith.
Yeah, Evan really doesn't need to run up too much. When you watch him do his run up and his forehand, it's really slow, and then he just explodes. So really has that arm motion down. And Chris gives himself an opportunity here. He's had a couple misses on the green, so maybe not feeling the most confident, but that guy's a champion, and we know he's going to give it a chance.
Luke just a little bit closer, sneaks his drive a lot closer. That's a tap-in birdie.
Yeah, lands in a similar spot where Chris has ended up, but gets the jump off that little sandy patch there.
Poland, unfortunately, kind of nestled on this tree. Has to flex it up there. I don't know if he minds that tree hit so much.
Yeah, bit of a net neutral. He might have a more open line, though. So, yeah, he would have had a bit of a more open putt, but...
Yeah. Tried to swing the ante in there, but not to be. Smith for birdie.
Sure, you see a lot of Paul Macbeth in Evan's putt. I'm guessing he pretty much copy-pasted that, and, not a bad guy to do it about.
The drive looks like it too, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. The entire game almost.
Yeah. Does he have the foot wiggle on the putt? Have you checked?
I don't know. I feel you see a lot of players do that. We'll have to check for.
Yeah.
I find myself doing it sometimes when I don't even really realize I do it.
That's a good putt from Chris Dickerson. He needed that one.
Yeah, Chris has a little more pace on that putt than most of his we had seen, so knows that he needed to give that one a good chance.
Poland walking to his comebacker. Ooh.
Just hangs out on the right for Blake. He's starting to show a little bit of up and down that we might expect out of a newcomer. But he really showed such a solid showing and a solid start today that we didn't really see it coming.
Yeah. There's a birdie drop in from Samson. Holds on to the one-stroke lead despite the birdie out of Dickerson.
Yeah, no stress there for Luke. Able to tap in for birdie. Another look at Evans. Very clean putt. Nice flat delivery.
Body English. Sinking that one into the chains.
Oh, yeah.
Love that.
Keep your eyes on the target, you guys. All the way through.
He's an impressive putter.
He really is. And this is an impressive hole. Amazing par 5 here. At 885 feet, you can get aggressive enough to eagle it. Most players, though, looking to play fairway or even a mid-range. And keep it straight. You kind of want to test this tree we're flying by right there. Break it just gently left. Land somewhere in this road here. Second shot you're looking to play. A little bit of late turn on it. Maybe a straight forehand for some of these right-hand players. Most players, it's just a slowly drifting backhand that lands somewhere in here. And then you're going to chip up to the basket for your birdie. OB line on the left the entire way and thick woods, as well as a kind of a little ditch on the right that'll really trouble you if you get off either way. So name of the game here is just straight 3 times in a row, and as you know, if you've ever played disc golf, straight is kind of the hardest thing to do.
Smith, this is left. Will it kick right? It kicks down, I want to say.
Yeah, a little early out of Evan there, and he's got a lot of work to do. If he's smart, he'll have an easy par, but
Oh, this looks nice out of Luke.
touch low and straight, but that kiss off the tree is going to give him a clean swing, and honestly, from that position, he's just looking to get birdie, and it's very much in play.
Chris. It's going to finish left. Not too bad, though. Found a little nook.
Yeah, it finishes left, but if you get far enough, it opens up for a minute there before it kind of closes up again.
Poland. 3 off of Smith already.
Hangs this one out, kicks right. That's the worst case scenario from that situation there, and it's going to take another full stroke just to chip it out to where a bad drive would have been there.
Yep. Smith throwing 2.
Evan having to go steep. Heiser back in the gap, trying to flip it up, but doesn't quite give it the height to have the chance. But honestly,
there's fair gaps out of that left-hand side.
Yeah, he's going to probably make a forehand flex work from over there, and I wouldn't doubt if he gives himself some kind of a long look, maybe if he executes really well.
Nice out from Poland.
Yeah, able to make some progress and get to a spot that a solid drive would end up, so I didn't think he would have that good of a look from in there.
Yeah, I didn't either. Samson?
There's that Cox Zay out of Luke, and just a little straight, but giving him that love right there, and he's center cut. That's money.
2 shots in a row, so a little bonus nudge back into the middle. You'd love to see it. Dickerson.
You know, you need a lot of skill to win, but also it never hurts, and the champion usually gets a little trickling of luck as well.
There you go. Dickerson needing no luck with that shot, middle of the fairway. Poland throwing 3.
See how aggressive Blake gets here, looking to flip something up. Definitely trying to get down there for his birdie looks like, and he threw that extremely well.
There's some love. Kicking it right towards the pin.
Yeah, that one could easily flare skip and flirt with that out of bounds left.
Oh, Smith.
Man.
That's going oofda.
Wow. Worked its way all the way to the other side of the fairway, directly in line, distance-wise from where he was.
Now throwing 4. Again, an overturn, Connor. Just a yank on it. It kicked back at least.
Evan was looking pretty strong, but this hole has really had 3 bad shots out of him so far, and granted, he has been in some tough spots for those second 2.
Yeah. Dickerson getting into the green for a birdie putt.
Chris leaving a little meat on the bone there from, I'm sure, what he'd want from that range, but giving himself an opportunity.
Just 220 here for Samson.
Another Berg shot out of Luke, and he's giving us a run on the bucket.
Oh, my goodness.
Nice angle there. Sets it. The disc holds it, and able to run it, but keep it close. That Berg disc is a really good one, and a disc that a lot of people could benefit from something like that.
It's a very unique disc.
It is.
There's not a whole lot of things out there that fly like a Berg.
It doesn't go very fast, super slow, torque resistant, but doesn't fade, so it really definitely unique and very useful for a powerful player like Luke.
Mm-hmm. Oh, nice approach there from Poland. Should drop in, no problem. Dickerson needs to make this to keep pace with Luke.
Sticks it high right, gets it to catch.
They are dueling, Connor.
Yeah, Chris showing that he's not going to back down, and Luke looking to open up the back 9 with that turkey that Chris opened the front 9 with. So
there you go.
These guys really putting the battle on.
Another good putt from Smith. Unfortunately, that one was for bogey. Samson coming back for birdie.
Even though it's close, Luke making sure to grab both the putters because he's used to practicing with that stack in the hand. Do your routine, kids. No matter how short, how insignificant the putt may feel, it still matters.
He's on my list of guys that have like driven off the course, and he's still out there putting. And it's like almost dark. Luke, what are you doing out there, man?
Last year he had a box of like 25 putters, and every single tournament I'd find one and have to go return it to him. Just somewhere random on the course, just out there, just hucking shots all day. Right hand, left hand, you name it. Side hand. That he's a grinder and one of the hardest working players there is.
That's what it takes. Samson, 1 stroke lead over one of disc golf's finest, Dickerson.
Yeah, they're really running away from the pack there. It's very noticeable. There's 14 strokes from Samson.
My name's Garrett Gerthy. People may know me as Double G, and I've been making Double G craft jerky since I was 16 years old.
I'm always a snacker, so about halfway through, I always find myself reaching for that bag of Double G jerky.
My favorite has got to be the garlic lover's dream. You just can't go wrong with garlic and beef jerky.
That middle of the round, you get into that slump. I'm gonna reach for that Double G craft jerky to help me finish strong.
So most of you can't throw like Double G, but if you get his craft jerky, you can certainly eat like him. Go out and get some Double G craft jerky.
You can find Double G craft jerky at doublegjerky.com.
Air Spectrum is Prodigy's new line of premium lightweight discs in the mid-range, fairway, and distance driver models. You can now get beautiful bursts of color no matter your preferred weight. Bag one today at prodigydisc.com.
Welcome back to the action. Connor, did you see the guy dressed up as jerky today?
I absolutely saw this guy dressed in a Double G craft jerky bag. It was pretty cool, and I'm surprised we haven't seen him plastered over the cameras yet. But here we are in our first hole in Norway, and 370 feet downhill over a bay, right to left slope. The water's very close on the left. Forehand for the right-hand players is very preferable, but also if you got the straight putter shot on lock, good option here.
Looking good for Luke. Is the distance there?
True.
Ooh.
Luke hitting that Reco X nice and hard and catches the hill. You kind of are leaving a little bit up to fade at that point, but he gets a nice straight slide there.
Little stress translation over to Dickerson after Samson is safe. This one.
Chris is getting knocked out a little bit. Just kind of started to turn on him early. And another situation where Chris is sitting there having to kind of one up Luke, and that's a tough green to have to make a long putt on.
This is early from Poland. That's safe over there, likely. Yeah. And here is Smith coming off that 6.
I'm sorry, it looks like Evan's been throwing that popcorn as that orange putter right there. I know the butter is another one of their putters, but I think the popcorn might be a little faster, so. Evan putting from pretty much the drop zones. You guys get to get a look at this. It's really a risky putt, and only the most confident putters in the world are going to run that one.
And he did.
Yeah, it's hard to keep it in bounds and give it that one a bid, and he pretty much did that.
The way he's been putting, though, you can't blame him. He's been feeling it.
In this situation, he's not necessarily... Yeah, he does want the tour points, but he wants to vault himself back into the conversation, and he has to birdie every hole to do that.
Dickerson, this is a longer look than I thought. Oh, comes up just short on a great look. But
Chris probably giving Luke a little heart palpitation, but now he's here, circle's edge, straddled out on that side slope, and he leaves one on the board.
That was a big chance right there. 2-stroke lead, a little cushion.
Yeah, you could see the emotion out of Luke. He knew that was a chance for him to take a little bit of command here coming into one of the harder and less predictable holes on the course in 14.
Mm-hmm. Dickerson to save his par. Yeah.
Yeah, like we said, guys, every stroke matters at this point. You're going to see Chris and Luke really buckle down and focus through their routine, even if it's a 12-footer, 10-footer, it doesn't matter.
Drop-ins for par out of Poland, and Samson Luke carries that 1-stroke lead over to our second Norway hole, the par 4 version of hole 13, basically. Look at the Poland forehand. Really nice.
Yeah, Blake's been leaning on that forehand pretty heavy through the tight gaps, and on a hole like this, I think it plays extremely well, but either way works as long as you get on that green. Here we are, one of the signatures on this course, one of the more controversial holes in terms of the way it makes you feel. Because you throw a good shot, you land up here, you're hoping it kind of stays in bounds, doesn't roll out. If you have visibility of this basket, it makes a huge difference on the approach. Once again, you got a steep slide slope right here on this cliff, and you got to land it up high on that shelf next to the basket, and even then you got a chance to roll out to the left. So really you got to do your job here and then take whatever happens with a grain of salt.
Luke fires the forehand today.
He trusts that out wide over the water in a big pressure situation.
That's
that shot might
exceptional.
look stock to you guys, but that is a huge shot.
Huge. Dickerson now has to match that. Well, actually, he has his own way of playing this hole, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's been playing that backhand, but looks like he bumps up to the mid. He had been going putter, but he knows that now's the time. He's got to match Luke. Luke is up on that hill, and he needs to give himself a look at birdie.
So round one, he went out and around from that spot and got to the green.
Yeah, this one, that second shot, if you're throwing the backhand, you really got to put it high and trust it on turn. And if you can get to a spot where Luke is, that forehand is really appealing again.
Poland, he's on the other side. He's going to have a decision to make, though. Smith.
As you can see, that little downswing, Paul Macbeth action. Very slow walk up as well, just like Paul for Evan.
Booming forehand.
Yeah, like I said, it comes. He walks into it slow, and then all of a sudden it just comes out really clean and very penetrating forehand.
Poland, this looks aggressive, attacking the green.
I like
Rolling
to see
the
that out of
dice.
Blake. He's not
yeah.
here just to lay up and take whatever he gets. He's here to try to show the people that he does have the skills it takes to score on any hole he needs to.
Dickerson looking out over at the water. Is this going to turn
this
enough?
This looks like it doesn't have enough, you guys. He's going to need a lot of help.
Ooh, did that cross in bounds anywhere up there?
And I don't think that cross, I think, judging on where it went out, if they give him a spot up on the green, I don't know that he quite deserves it. I feel like he should be playing from the front of this bubble here, and we'll see what the card gives him.
And now what does Luke do after watching that?
Luke plays it high and safe.
Oh, is it sitting?
At the mercy of those branches, and he sits down. That does not happen a ton off of that reaction.
He's got a birdie look. Meanwhile, Dickerson throwing 4 from the wrong side of the water.
Wow. Luke with a fortunate reaction. Chris with a misfire. This is a big swing possibly right here.
And Evan removing some unattached branch there.
Making sure with his card mates that it's all right first. You got to make sure that you're adjourning with the card on things like that. Evan tests that same tree and branch that Luke hits, and as you can see, this one almost hits him with that little coin flip there.
Does nestle. He's going to have a birdie look, and yes, Dickerson taking this from over here.
Yeah, I think that's the proper call there. Not letting Chris talk himself up onto that green there. I think Chris also honoring the game, taking his lie back here and knowing that he gets what he earned.
So best case here, he's looking at a bogey.
I know he's looking to probably throw this thing in and last-ditch effort to try to put some pressure on Luke. And
That's
good
close.
reaction there. Good reaction.
Very makeable bogey putt there for Dickerson. Luke's going to have a chance to grab 2 strokes, and that would be a 3-stroke lead all of a sudden.
That's going to be huge for Luke if he can grab that. The last 4 holes are not easy, especially the final 3. And if you can have a cushion and kind of decide whether or not you think you need to birdie those holes, it's going to be a lot easier. Luke with
does
a
it.
fist bump, straddle putt up the hill. That's very uphill, and
That was dead center, too.
Is a putt that you need to win this tournament.
Big hole here for Samson. Smith. This is his look at birdie.
As you can see, Evan's head is well below the bottom of the basket even. He's going to have to get this one way up and challenges even a very sound putter like himself.
Yep. Chris Dickerson, it's close, but it's not a gimme. This for bogey.
Most definitely not. You see how he has to kind of only stand on his left leg there and just kind of prop his right leg up and make sure to still get a good action out of that left leg and jams it in there.
Limiting the damage, but he finds himself 3 back. Got 4 to play.
Yeah, Chris is no longer in the driver's seat. Luke has full range of this tournament. 4 holes to play. He's going to probably need to birdie at least 1 or 2 of them, but he's going to be able to make a decision most likely on a couple holes on how aggressive he wants to get, and that's going to be really important coming down the stretch. Another Luke at Luke's putt.
Look at this thing.
Getting that squat in there. Body English out of the hand. He wants that thing, and it sticks in there. Way to be, Luke.
On to 15, Connor.
15, arguably the steepest slope we throw up, similar to hole 9, except for this time you want to break the disc to the left up here, or to the right, sorry, at the top of this hill here. There's a tight little lane, very specific you got to get to on the right. If you leak your shot off left, who knows whether you're going to be able to get back to this gap here. If you do, however, put it in this gap, you're going to be left with 280 or most likely less into a green that doesn't have too much surrounding it, giving you pretty clean looks if you get up there.
Luke with the box and the 3-stroke lead.
The Lutz out of Luke, straight fairway driver, hammering that thing flat with a little bit of turn.
Great.
And that is pretty prime time. You're not going to see too many drives beyond that on this hole.
Here
He's going
goes.
to have
Poland, excuse me. Oh, that's overturned.
Blake's going to need some really good fortune to fight through that side. And
we'll see.
yeah, it's another situation for Blake where par is going to be a good score from that position.
It looked like it did make some progress up the hill.
The cameraman was following something, so
Yeah.
we'll see what he's got up there.
Here goes Smith.
Evan putting some want on this thing.
Oh,
and
yeah.
leaks it a little bit left of that gap, but he's going to have possibly that secondary gap to access there. Maybe a little straight backhand through there.
Yeah, looks nice. Chris Dickerson. 3 behind, 4 to play. Needs
Chris
to make some
under
moves.
a lot of pressure here. Luke was the one kind of in pressure situation, but he pures this drive, and now we're looking at a birdie duel right here. Let's see who can capitalize.
Poland off the fairway right, firing a forehand back
Looks like
up.
he found that little. There's a path that kind of leads down to hole 14's fairway.
Really?
It
Is
looks
that
like he
what
kind
that
of
is?
found that. Yeah, he walked down there to go fishing one day. So I know that.
That works out. Here's Dickerson's
Chris
second.
having to go flex, hits a tree.
Mm.
Door is wide open for Luke Samson right now. He's going to have 250 feet to the bucket or less, and he's going to have forehand or backhand options, whatever he feels comfortable with.
A little too much turn on that approach out of Smith. He still has a putt, though.
Yeah, Evan had to kind of flex it, lean out to get back into that gap, and not an easy shot. Here we are, that Berg from 250.
Up and down, and he's got a 4-stroke lead.
And he yanks it.
Oh,
Luke
Luke.
showing a little bit of tenseness
Make a
and
little putt,
missing
though.
a shot that you almost will never see. As you can see,
Yeah.
telling himself, calm down. It's still a lot of golf to play. You're still in control.
He's still driving. Poland, his 3rd now.
Oh, there's not quite enough hyzer angle there out of Blake, and you can see the winds kind of coming out of his sails. He knows his chances at winning this and really showing up on the scene with a huge splash are kind of over, but still looking to finish strong, and you got to make sure you buckle down, Blake, and get you that money.
There we go. There's an approach from Dickerson, conceding par. Poland. A long look at his par. Oh, Blake.
Plays that little nose up hyzer and so close to good there. Just gets caught up on those front nubs.
Yep. He's going to drop in a bogey. Here is Samson.
Okay, Luke very fortunate to get to where he did after that shot, and he capitalizes. And like I said, a champion's going to need a little bit of luck, a lot of skill, and a ton of belief in themselves and a ton of heart, and Luke is showing all of that right now.
4 strokes. 3 to play.
And you see
It's
that little
looking good.
swagger in that walk again. He's
Yep.
been a roller coaster for Luke, chasing that first tour win against a seasoned professional who does this and has beaten the best of the best.
We've got 18 lurking, though, Connor.
We do.
Eagle
We have
opportunities.
18, we
There's
have
a ton of
16,
OB
we have
on that
17.
one. Yep.
All 3 of those holes can play tough. An early miss on 16 spells disaster. That OB gets tight around the green, and a lot can happen on 18 as well if you're forced to have to try to score on it.
Chris puts in the par. Again, losing ground. Poland, that's a bogey. And we are headed to that hole 16. Kind of big boy version of hole 8, it reminds me of.
Absolutely, yeah. I think hole 16, you can kind of throw the same drive as you did on hole 8, and it can be pretty effective there on 16. Another
that
look at
putt
Luke's
from
putt.
Luke.
That is
It was perfect.
so sweet to see him capitalize off of a bit of a misfire.
Opened up a 4-stroke lead over your major champion, Chris Dickerson.
We see Ulibari and Ezra getting hot there,
Yeah.
charging up the leaderboard into that top 10. And here we are on hole 16. Very picturesque par 4. Pretty open here off the tee, but the trouble is you got to work the disc just ever so slightly to the right and then have it fade pretty straight. You don't want to be too tucked here on the left around the corner where you have to throw that high spike hyzer. If you can get visibility of this basket, this hole just got one stroke easier for you most likely. But for most guys, if you get through that initial gap and penetrate straight for most of the flight, you're going to have a chance at approaching this OB surrounded green that slopes steeply from the left to right.
Luke Samson has the box. Pulling out the Wraith.
This one looks nice and flat. A little high, though. He's going to need...
Oh, that fought.
Get down. Oh, that roll is the luck.
Oh, my
and love
goodness.
that you need, champ.
586 off the tee, and that roll opened the angle perfectly.
Luke went from, okay, I might need to make a decision to go for my par here and just give one up to Chris, knowing that I have 4, to I'm attacking for birdie and padding my lead.
Nice pull out of Smith as well.
Yeah, that was textbook out of Evan right there. That's a spot. If you could place your drive, that's pretty much where you're going to put it.
Dickerson needs to play absolutely perfect from this point forward, and that is anything but.
Chris wanted that one and trying to make something happen, but Luke all of a sudden went from having to try to possibly play chess against Chris to now playing with house money and most likely grabbing another stroke on Chris here.
It's going to be a disappointment if he doesn't.
Absolutely.
Crazy. Poland.
Ooh.
Does it have it? I think so. A little tight.
A little tight here. He's going to need it to finish straight. Yeah, it's a par is pretty much the best you can score from there unless you're throwing it in from $150 or something.
Yeah. Back well up the fairway, Dickerson, 5-10 to the pin. Really, I don't even think you can
even
get
for
there.
a creative player like Chris, there's no way to think of over the top line or whatever from there. It's just so unfeasible. That's not even worth it. Now he's just hoping that Luke makes a mistake on a very routine upshot.
Yeah, that's where the good drives are.
Yep.
Swinging over to Poland, throwing to similar tough position. Pitching around the corner as much as he can.
That was a good angle. It's kind of a scary shot, the way that the slope runs away from you. It's easy to find that OB long, and solid scramble shot from Blake there to put him in position.
Evan, just 276 left. Throw it in.
Chip it high. You can tell he wanted to try to give that a bid, as most players do on this green, and yeah, parks that one.
Gorgeous. Dickerson. Samson's still not out.
Chris needs to throw this thing in to put some pressure on Luke, and gives it a solid line, just not quite the pace he needed.
Yeah,
Luke is in the driver's seat, and let's see how he responds after missing a similar upshot in the last hole.
It's decent, not great.
A little tense again. He plays it up high left, and
the putter's been solid
slope
though
to work with there, but he's really gonna have to rely on that putter again because his upshots are not doing him favors right now.
They really are not. Here's
Blake
Poland. Ooh,
throwing this one with a great bid at the basket.
that'll save his par after the errant drive. Let's see if Samson can lean on that putter again. This for a 5-stroke lead.
Oh, just short off the cage, but luckily for Luke, it doesn't matter because he's already playing with the stroke that Chris gave him off the tee.
Exactly, and that just will tie Samson on the hole with a par from Dickerson. He will stay 4 back, now 2 to play.
Uncharacteristic to see Chris do that, but I'm also happy to see Luke have some frustration on that putt, seeing how bad he wants it, because really, the way the field's getting nowadays and the way our sport's going, you gotta want it every single stroke, whether your opponent lets up or not. You just gotta want everything, and I love to see that.
There's a lot of great players and not a lot of great wins out there every year, you know?
Yeah,
there's not that many tournaments.
All of a sudden now there's 50 players at almost every event with the skills to win it. Maybe not at this Silver Series, but at these Elite Series events. Our top 50 players in the world right now, you guys have the skill set to win any weekend, and honestly, even a little bit outside of that at times. And here we are on hole 17. A pretty routine par to grab if you're in a position like Luke. But there is a little bit of questionable wind at times here, out of bounds on both sides, and if you mess up one shot here, all of a sudden it gets a lot trickier. For Luke, he's looking to play it low, put it in the middle, maybe chip up there, chip up again and take a 4. But if he puts his drive where he wants and looks to get aggressive, he could almost seal the deal on this one. There's still a lot to go, though, and 18 is looming.
Yeah, the other side, though, it's such a tough birdie for Dickerson.
Yeah, it really is. 17 is not a birdie you want to have to try to get, because I think that's really where the danger comes.
Yep.
Is when you try to do too much on this hole, whereas if you can play kind of a stock shot like Evan did, or a stock shot like Luke is going to try to do, it makes this hole a lot easier, because then you can make your decision on this second shot.
Here you go, Samson. 2 to play, 4 up.
Throwing that wraith, plays it low, a little bit of turn, fighting out.
That's a big drive.
Yeah, that's a great spot to be, right in that dirt patch up there, and he's going to have a pretty manageable forehand to give himself a long look, and we know that Luke has a big forehand with those long arms, and Chris is going to have to really make some miracles happen here.
This is going to be somewhere in between Smith and Samson, 480. Needs about the same.
Yeah, he's going to need a big turnover, a little over 400 probably to the pin from where he's at.
Here is Poland. Coming up a little shy. Must be playing this one for par.
Yeah, he played that one pretty safe, and smart play from Blake there.
The mistake you'll see here, these second shots getting OB to right. Let's see if Poland can avoid that.
Just Blake try to do too much with the big flex. He hits it really well. Going to be really hard to get to the pin, though, with 516. And
great shot, though.
Yeah, puts it about 100 short, but that's definitely a good spot to be.
About best case from where that drive ended up. See what Smith has for his second.
428 is definitely attackable for Evan and his forehand power. See if he can hit the proper angle here. Nice and flat, looking to fight back.
Look at that clean spin.
Wow, gives it the height. That thing's working well.
Oh, my goodness.
Evan showing that he's a two-way player.
That forehand is elite.
Yeah, he's got a sick forehand. You can tell he's a little giddy about that. He knows he hit that one good, and
rightfully so.
Feeling like a big, strong boy after that one.
Dickerson swinging the Anheuser backhand. Is this too tight?
That is too tight. Maybe going with one of those.
Yeah.
Ooh, fortunate tree action there. Chris almost just absolutely just wide opened it for Luke, but
what a perfect spot on the fairway for Samson.
Yeah, Luke just puts it a little high here, but he gets it enough power, and wow, Luke.
That's
feeling strong right now, feeling good.
That's a lock it up birdie right there for Samson.
Tapping it in here on 17 is something that almost no one probably got to do this weekend. So Luke and Evan showing off their two-way power that they have and just how good of players they are.
You kind of need it for this hole, don't you?
You absolutely do. Yeah, I mean, if you have that power hyzer forehand, it makes it way easier than throwing the fairway turnover or even the big roller shot.
There was Dickerson with a valiant effort at birdie, but not to be. Here is the par comeback instead. Yeah, good make. But too little too late out of Dickerson. He will be 5 back as they head to 18's tee, assuming Luke makes this birdie putt.
Really surprising to see Chris kind of falling off after his strong start. But let's not take away anything from what we've seen out of Luke Samson today. He started the round with a layup, you guys. Remember, he took his fate into his own hands, made smart decisions on the front nine, and his clean round.
Look at his back 8.
Has
Connor.
been really.
Look at that, 2 pars.
That's, yeah. The back 9 is tough to score on you guys, and Luke is out here just.
Yeah, in comparison to the rest, right?
Not playing tense, playing open. He's at 11 down right now, you guys. He's really lighting the course up.
Evan Smith blasting this one down the fairway on 17, leading to a very nice birdie, he and Samson. Rare sight, 2 birdies on 17.
Absolutely.
All right, finishing 18, Connor. Let's do it.
Here we are, our final hole of our tournament. Luke Samson has 5 strokes on the next guy. He's going to be able to play this one really safe out over that road to the right. Most likely looking to chip his second shot somewhere into this zone right about here. Leave himself with maybe 250, 220 into the basket. That's wide open on this beautiful island. Little bit of wind coming off the right here. It'll be kind of off the head, off the tee, but it was very calm at this point in the day. And Luke Samson looking to capitalize and finish off in the winner's circle for his first time on the Pro Tour. A guy who's been grinding on the tour the last 3 years, I believe, maybe even a little more than that. And first started out of his sedan and sleeping in that thing as a big 6'6" guy.
That's
and
right,
it's
man.
like Luke's story is just amazing. If you know the game, if you've been around the game, and he's such a hard worker and just a fun guy to be around, that it's a joy to see him starting to have some of the success that we all could see was coming eventually.
And doing it on a place like this too, Connor. You know,
this place is high test of skills and plays that one real safe, but knows that he can. He doesn't need the distance. He does not need an eagle here. He just needs a par, really. And the birdie's simple enough. He probably will still play for it.
Yeah. No one's calling this one a fluke, you know? It's a championship level course.
Absolutely. True championship level course. And true, we might not have a full field here, but Luke's right here battling with Chris Dickerson, a major champion, someone who has won on the Pro Tour numerous times. Evan Smith's no slouch. He's shown that he's got an all-around game and has popped off on the Elite Series a number of times, as well as the Silver Series this year. And Blake, a guy who, like we said, has been able to dedicate more and more time to the game recently, and excited to see him use this as a stepping stone going forward.
You'd love to see it. Samson, his second after that pull-in drive leaked OB.
Choosing to go forehand. Maybe that uphill run-up making him want to go to that, like we mentioned earlier, just putting it super high in the air, making sure he fades off to the right.
Walking this one in.
Luke's starting to have some of those thoughts of like, all right, just keep breathing. Let's get this done. Just get it done. And then pretty soon he'll be able to enjoy all the hard work, all the sacrifice, the grind, the literal blood, sweat, and tears that you guys don't see all the time. Because, it's not always so glamorous or glorious to share that stuff with you guys. But, this sport is beautiful and it's a lot of fun to play at the professional level, but it's hard work and it's a lot on your body following this tour all year long. And Luke Samson's been doing it and grinding as hard as anybody. So just really happy to see this guy putting himself in a position to win.
Here's Smith with a good shot onto the island.
Absolutely, yeah. Evan, once again, that's going for the eagle look, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, Evan played. He's got really good power. He just has clean technique. Evan's showing you don't have to be big. You don't have to be huge, strong. You just need the technique to be right and no wasted motions.
Dickerson chasing down eagle as well.
Chris, that last-ditch effort, looks like he is going to grab that eagle, but too little too late as he let a lot slip in that middle section.
Yeah, they were tied coming into this back nine.
Yeah, it's been a tale of two nines for sure.
Samson throwing three.
Nice, high, wide, most likely throwing the yarn here. New overstable putt and approach. Really just approach from cast to plast. And he's going to have a 20-footer to seal up his first Disc Golf Pro Tour affiliated event of his career.
With his fourth for the up and down par.
Yeah.
Strong a bit from Blake.
Absolutely, yeah. Blake finishing strong and wasn't the round or the ending that he wanted, but obviously still something he can grow on, and he is now on the conscious of you, the disc golf fans.
Yeah, made lead card and stayed on it as well.
Absolutely.
Something to be said for that. Smith with a rare miss, even from distance. Dickerson for eagle.
Yeah, the screen is super exposed, so a putter as good as Evan even has maybe one extra thought creep into his head.
And a great finish out of Chris Dickerson there on the last, finishing with the three.
Chris, always a true champion, came out battling early and definitely tested Luke's skills and tested Luke's guts. And Luke stepped up every step of the way. He made some huge putts, laced some drives farther than we've seen. And Luke Samson is about to be your 2022 Lake Marshall Open champion. So incredible. I got goosebumps right now watching my guy Luke win this, and honestly I feel super emotional watching this. It's hard to even put it into words how much I relate to Luke's journey and his just who he is as a person and as a worker.
Biggest win of his life, man.
Absolutely his biggest win, and hopefully the first of many. I know Luke's going to keep working hard, and nothing's changing about this guy after a win like this. He's only looking for more, and what a deserving player. And congrats to Castaplast for having such a great ambassador for their team. As he says, Castaplast into the camera right there. We see you again.
He is just an absolute gentleman, man. Just the nicest, most wholesome dude.
Yeah,
he's
a great friend to have. He's always just a high energy guy, and yeah, everybody on the tour likes Luke, and everyone has a funny, quirky Luke story, and stories about his 25 putters, about his stretching while putting, a little thing he does, or all the things that Luke likes to do. He is a true gem of a human, and he's just a specimen of his own, and I'm glad to call him a friend and a brother and a colleague.
Two types of people in the world: Luke Samson fans and people that haven't met him yet.
Absolutely.
Congrats, Luke.
I just want to say again, thanks for having me here on the Disc Golf Pro Tour to call this beautiful coverage. It's been a pleasure to join you today, Ian. And
it's been a treat, Connor.
All weekend.
Really appreciate it, man.
Here we see Luke going with the 12 down, hot round of the tournament to finish off in style. Ulibarri getting to that double-digit mark as well. Blake still staying in that top 10 even with the lackluster final round and showing how hard he worked in those first two rounds. Kevin Kiefer, Randon Lotta sneaking in there.
Yeah, love this one. Hope we get to come back, Connor.
Absolutely.
We will catch you guys in Jacksonville. Thanks for watching.